My name's Scott Murphy. I look after the ArrowSphere cloud business in the UK, and my role is to work with our various vendor teams and our cloud vendors via our ArrowSphere platform to enable our partners to take cloud to market and for you guys to maximise the opportunity of cloud. And really what I want to spend some time on is focusing on the ArrowSphere platform rather than McAfee SaaS specifically, although we'll cover off some of the pricing models that we brought out within the McAfee SaaS Monthly portfolio that we brought onto ArrowSphere. So I want to basically reiterate and reaffirm some of what we see as the opportunity for you guys, which is building on what Phil and Tim and Tyler have been through in terms of the market opportunity and the great growth opportunity in the market. But really want to talk about more practical things where we see actually how you can leverage ArrowSphere and the ArrowSphere portfolio to take that cloud to market, whether that be McAfee SaaS and then building out that product side into your customer base. So we've heard, why should you sell cloud services? And we've seen a couple of different statistics this morning from Phil in terms of the market growth and from Tim supporting that market growth and also giving us some metrics around partner profitability and average revenue per head, etc., etc. But quite simply, we see that cloud absolutely opens doors within customers. And again, I think Phil touched on it earlier. Cloud is another word for the internet, but the fact is that Phil makes that statement is, cloud is a buzzword, and because it's a buzzword, it means that customers will want to speak to you about it. So we definitely see that as a very important thing. It represents the upsell opportunity, and Tyler spoke about that. There's an upsell opportunity within the McAfee SaaS portfolio, but there's also a great upsell opportunity for you guys outside of the McAfee SaaS portfolio. I'll come on to that in a second. It creates the annuity and revenues as well as lock-in, so you get that predictable revenue that's going to be recurring. Again, as Tyler touched on, McAfee SaaS email has 95% retention rate, which I think is pretty impressive compared to what most people see. And one of the most important things that we see is that the hybrid model is reality. So when people talk about cloud and we talk about hybrid, there's a different conversation around hybrid depending whether we're talking about on-site, off-site, public and private cloud, etc. But what's definitely true, and this is from an IDC study, is that nearly 75% of end-user customers want that trusted advisor partner to sell them on-premise and cloud solutions. And I think that's where we see the great opportunity in the fact that we can see that cloud, and specifically SaaS and software as a service in the cloud, is going to outperform the traditional IT market. However, we can also see that the traditional IT market is still very, very large and isn't shrinking. So I think you guys are in a perfect position where you sell in that traditional market and you've got a great opportunity to build on that with your partners. And the second point to that is that if you don't, somebody else will. Yeah, and whether that's another reseller or another cloud provider that actually sells cloud services, but actually as they move forward will need to start selling traditional services. So you need to make sure that you're working with your customer on a trusted advisor basis so that they understand that you are the partner of choice for them. They don't have to go to their cloud provider or vice versa. And we've spoke a little bit around the value add. So your value add into your customers needs to evolve, and we think we can help you with that. So we're creating a number of cloud plays. So Tyler mentioned bundling within McAfee, but within the ArrowSphere platform, we have the ability to enable you to bundle multiple vendors' cloud services into a single SKU that you can sell into your customers. So we can actually enable that bundling. So you may, for example, want to resell some hosted exchange as well as some email security from McAfee from two different vendors and actually promote that out into your customer base. So we can help you do that. And consultancy and service wraps, although you will lose some of the initial service in terms of physically going out and installing servers and software to set up an antivirus solution or an email security solution, there's other services that you can wrap around, such as cloud consultancy and cloud migrations, etc. So what is ArrowSphere? So ArrowSphere is a term that we use for all things cloud within Arrow, and it's a term that we use for all of our platforms. We have a number of different platforms within the ArrowSphere portfolio, and we use this picture really just to try and depict exactly what it is it does. So very simply, we've got end users at the bottom end of this diagram, and we've got service categories at the top. So as you can see, backup, security, etc., etc. And the premise is that end user customers, as we know, want to buy and will continue to buy more, 4 times more than traditional IT. They want to find cloud services, buy them, and they want to manage them as well. So not only do they just want to find them, they want to be able to purchase them, but then be able to manage that the subscription basis as well as the actual service. I think what we found as Arrow is very important is that, you can find services by Google, right? And you can very easily type into Google and say, I want to find an email service or an antivirus service. And looking at that MX report that Tyler put up on the screen a second ago, you can see the number of different vendors and providers, and there was names on there that I had not heard of, that are selling these services. So the reality is, as an end user customer, they've got too much choice. And again, so in terms of the trusted advisor status, you have the ability via ArrowSphere, because we've done that legwork, we've done the research, we've onboarded and continue to onboard the market leading services for you guys to take into your customer base. So, as a partner, you have a choice, and you can either resell cloud services, or you can build cloud services, or you can do this magic hybrid, to use that word again, because it's common in cloud. Regardless of which one you want to do, you've got to think about all these things in the middle of this diagram here. So you've got to think about your contractual SLAs with your customer. You've got to think about reporting, which again we've touched on earlier. You've got to think about how do you bill the customer, and how do you make sure that you've got that recurring bill, whether your internal ERP system can facilitate that or not. And so not only have you got to think about what service to take to your customer, you've got to think about how you take it to your customer and how your customer experience will be. You've got to think about those things as well. So when we talk about McAfee SaaS Monthly, we specifically talk about the resale side of the ArrowSphere platforms. Now, within the ArrowSphere resale side of the business, platforms, we have what we call an ArrowSphere cloud catalogue. So the McAfee SaaS products sit in that catalogue, alongside hosted email, alongside online cloud backup, alongside SAP Business One, and all of these other software as a service type products. It also sits along things like infrastructure as a service, so Colt and server and storage as a service as well. So there's a multitude of cloud services that you can take to your customer. And what we do is we have those services, and you sign one contract with ArrowSphere, and we give you access to the market leading commercial terms and contractual terms for these services. But then via the platform, we enable you to take those services to market. And that's one thing, being able to sell something, having access to something contractually. But it's another thing to actually have access, the ability to take that into the market. So we can do that in a number of different ways. One of the ways that we're going to focus on, I've got a little video in a second, is we have something called a Connect console, which is the ability for you as a reseller to log into the ArrowSphere portal and procure services on behalf of your customer, and then also manage those service subscriptions across a number of vendors. But you may choose to have a white labeled web store, and you want to present a web store to your end user customer, and you want your end user customer to self-serve. You may already have an e-commerce presence into your customer base that you're selling traditional hardware and software. Again, we provide API connections that you can do some handshakes to be able to get that automation of service. And again, as you'll see in the video, we can provision McAfee solutions, as an example, from opening your console screen through to the end user customer getting that service delivered in little over a minute. Yeah, so it is near instantaneous. So we talk about this frictionless enterprise. We absolutely can do that with an ArrowSphere. The second part of ArrowSphere is the build piece, and we're not going to go into that today. And when Tyler mentioned that as an extension to reselling some of the SaaS products, you may also want to build some McAfee hosted products yourselves using the MSP program. We have another platform within ArrowSphere called XSP Central that enables you and supports you in doing that process. So if we look at some of the key features that the platform from a resale point of view provides you, right? So you get aggregated billing. So we not only can you get the invoice and the bill for the McAfee SaaS products, but you can also get the invoice and the bill in an aggregated fashion across all those different vendor services that I touched on earlier. We have a help desk and ticketing and support team. So we have a 24/7 team that provides second line support to you across all of the cloud products and technologies, so you can make sure that you, if you get stuck with your customer, then there's access to people that know what they're talking about. Reporting and auditing, so we absolutely can provide varying different reports and audits for you, whether that be, you know, daily sales reports. You can actually run a report to say what has invoiced today or what has billed today, especially if you was doing a customer self-service portal, because, you know, in theory you wouldn't know that a customer bought until afterwards because they could log in and buy some stuff. But you can also run some other reports, you know, on a usage basis to help you analyse what your customer's buying and help you analyse where the upsell and cross-sell opportunities are within your customer base. And simple subscription management. So, you know, in terms of, you know, Tyler spoke about the 95% you know, retention rate from a McAfee SaaS point of view, but you can manage that through the portal. And other products I have different time periods and commit periods than McAfee SaaS. You know, some can be hours right through to some can be annual. Within the subscription management, you can manage that process across all those different services. So just to touch briefly on, you know, what we as Arrow provide to you to help you on top of the platform, take those services to market. And, you know, clearly, like a traditional McAfee, we can work with you to get access to MDF, so we can run some campaigns. We as Arrow have got a tool called Virtual Marketing Manager, and this is a tool that's got some ready-to-go campaigns built and you know, ready for you to co-brand and rebrand to take into your customer base. We've created and continue to create some of these ArrowSphere key plays. So when I touched on earlier around email, you know, we've created a guide or a play around email, which then helps you position into your customer actually want them to buy an email service that is both secure and backed up. We've got some battle cards, so all the products that we have in the portfolio are very simple, 2-page. You know, why you should sell it, what the opportunity is, what the margin is for you guys as an average. What challenges it addresses for your customer in a very easy to read format. And then very importantly, you know, we offer all cloud advice in terms of actually within your business, what processes do you need to put in place, what commission structures, how do you incentivise people to make sure they're selling those things. And I'm sure, you know, obviously we've got people at different levels within the room, but if that's something that's on, you know, that's a question of yours that you need to go back into the business and decide how you do that, then we can help you with that. If that's something that you think, actually, I don't know what the answer is in my business, but, you know, my line manager or my sales manager would be interested, then please plug us in via our account manager. So I touched on in the diagram in terms of the different ways to go to market. So you can have a resale console, which we're going to go demo in a second. You've got a resale branded web store, so you can take that out into your customers as self-serve. Or quite simply, you can just process a PO. You know, if you've just got some, you know, what I call quick and dirty sales, and you just want to get an order done and you don't want to mess about in the short term, we can facilitate that as well. So I'm just going to run through a little demo. I say it's 1.5 minutes long, so it's not long. So as you can see here, this is a video slightly speeded up in terms of creating customers. So this is what you would see. So you would log into this, or somebody in your organisation in procurement or wherever, process your orders to add customers. So you can see here, just quite simply adding an end user customer against your account. And we're now going to create a subscription for that customer. So having added the customer added into the database, once the customer is obviously added, you can add subscriptions to that customer without having to recreate the customer. But as you can see from, you know, intuitive drop-down boxes and some free text, very, very simply you can set up the service. So as you can see here, we're just setting up the details for the subscription. As you can see, that's been provisioned. You know, we've got a confirmed email address into the McAfee service, which is done by the API. And what we're doing here is simulating logging into that service using the credentials that we've just provisioned using the ArrowSphere Connect Console platform. And then now you're on the McAfee. So you know, once the service is actually created, you know, the orchestration, the provision of the service is done within the McAfee portal. So just want to touch on that's the final bits in terms of the platform and what we've got available. you know, I think we touched on a few times today. You know, this is the McAfee SaaS Monthly is an exclusive launch to Arrow, and we're launching this in the UK. And what we wanted to do is we've basically working with McAfee, and what they've found very successful in the US is created two different types of pricing models. So I just want to spend just a couple of minutes just explaining these a little further. And so there's two pricing models. We have a per deal pricing model. So depending on the number of users that are purchasing that deal at a specific time would move up in a particular price band. So if somebody's got 100 users, it'd be one price band right through to somebody's got 3,000 users will hit another price band. What that price band means is that the suggested end user price plus your buy price is amended accordingly based on the number of end users for that particular deal. The second type of pricing is aggregated volume pricing. So this is really where if you've got either the sales strategy to go grow business and develop business in your customer base around McAfee SaaS products, or perhaps you've got other vendor SaaS products that are being resold into your customer base on a competitive vendor, you may choose to actually look at the commit pricing. And what you do with the commit pricing is exactly what it says in the tin, you commit to a monthly fee into McAfee as a partner. But what that enables you to do is depending on the price band you commit at, you get that level of discount across all products at that price band. Okay, so just to use some further illustration, an example here that I pulled together is using the 1,000 to 2,000 commit band for a 100 user deal. So bear with me, it's just an example, clearly you wouldn't do that. If you was to buy the 100 user deal as a per deal, so a one-off deal for your end user, you would sell an MRSP, you would make 45% margin as an average margin. If you was, as an organisation, was to do a monthly commit, regardless of that deal, your minimum monthly commit would be £340 because, which is 1,001 times by the cheapest product within the McAfee suite. But what that interestingly does is first of all, if you sell the same deal to your customer, you instantly make more margin. So you make 68% instead of 45%. The risk is if you don't sell, you've got this monthly commit to pay to Arrow and in turn to McAfee. But the upside is you make more margin, and the more you sell, the better. And then as you start to ramp up your sales into your customer, then clearly you'll overtake the monthly commit and you'll continue to make the margins. The second point that's worth noting is that the monthly commit is based on the banding that you choose to commit at, and that's the price point that you get. You don't, however, have to sell. You get that price point on all of the products. So in this example, the monthly commit is the cheapest product in the portfolio, so it's 1,001 times 34 pence. It's actually 1,000 there. But reality is, if you was to sell the email protection and continuity suite, which is Tyler mentioned is one of the most popular suites, you actually only have to sell 385 of them at the MRSP value to actually meet your monthly commit. Yeah, so you do a monthly commit on at the right band on the minimum or the lowest price products, but you can sell everything. So the great thing is for you don't have to go and sell 1,000 of the lowest price products. You can sell a lot less.